Hey guys, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Woo! It is Tuesday, July, I think 9th, y'all. Wow, we're in July already. What's up? What's up? What's up, guys? As you're coming, I just want to remind you that our theme for this week is Ghana. We are covering nothing but Ghanaian victories and wins here at the office of Ian Mafula. We've got pretty huge Ghanaian clientele. I know you always hear me talking about our Kenyan, our Nigerian clientele, but our Ghanaian clientele is out this world too. And so this week, just so you know, on our Instagram, our Facebook, on all of our social mediums, we are covering nothing but our Ghanaians. All of our Ghanaian wins, victories, also our Ghanaian controversial cultures, the culture of the Ghanaian people here in the US, all the way from jollof rice to legal issues. All right. So we're gonna be talking about Ghanaian jollof, versus Nigerian jollof, all the way to legal issues that our Ghanaian clients face here in the US. I think today I could pass for Ghanaian with the hair, but I'm actually not, y'all. I am actually Kenyan by descent because I get that question all the time. So I'm Kenyan by descent, but I think today I look kind of. I think I could pass Ghanaian for Ghanaian today. Anyway, so just want that's just a selfish plug. Check out our Instagram, our Facebook, our TikTok, our YouTube this week. All we are covering is nothing but our Jamaican wins, and we have a lineup of amazing testimonies from our Ghanaian clients, and I mean amazing. And when I say amazing, I mean amazing, amazing testimonies from our Ghanaian clients. So check out, look out for that. And we're talking about green card testimonials. People have gotten green cards through us, and they're Ghanaians. I-360 approvals, work permits, travel permits. We're going to be doing all of that this week. So again, check out our Instagram, our YouTube, our Facebook, our TikTok, our YouTube this week. That's all we're covering. And by the way, we've been covering Around the World series. We've been covering, last week we covered Nigeria. So we covered our Nigerian success stories, jokes, culture issues with, that Nigerians face here in the U.S. So last week our theme was Nigeria. The week before, last week actually was Kenya. The week before it was Nigeria. And then the week before it was Jamaica. So guys, stick with me. We're going places. Stick with me. We're going places. So basically we're going around the world with our legal passport, okay? With our imaginary passport, we're going to tour all the countries that Law Offices of Iamafula represents and that's been successful in helping. And so soon, hopefully, maybe it'll be India, and then we'll cover some more UK countries. But just stay, keep that in the back of your minds and watch out for on our social medias for that. Now, without further ado, I want to get straight into a topic, and then I'll answer some questions, and then I've got to go. I still get so many consultations with people who don't quite understand the process, the American process of getting married here in the U.S. And I say that because I keep having issues with people, getting married when they're still legally married to someone else. Of course, they didn't know they were still legally married to someone else. I keep having this issue quite some. And so I think it's nice, once again, to discuss that topic. And I'll discuss it just for about 2 minutes. And then I'll remind people of the cases that we do, the kinds of cases that we do, and then I'll answer some questions and we're going home. All right. So, long story short, guys, you have to be legally divorced to get married. I know everyone knows that, but let me just say that again. First step is make sure you're legally divorced when you get married here in the U.S. It is a huge problem, especially for people from a certain country I won't mention because they get sensitive when I say it, but it's a huge problem. So, you always want to get your divorce checked. Get it checked. Is it valid before you remarry? I just have this issue so many times. And then what happens in the scenario, maybe where you've already remarried, now you've already married a new U.S. citizen spouse, and you've now already submitted an adjustment of status application through marriage. Your spouse has already petitioned for you to get a green card, and then immigration flags your application or denies your application on the basis of saying your prior divorce to your spouse was invalid. Okay, Nigeria, or I'll just put it out there. Let's say in Nigeria, right? In the event that they say your prior divorce was invalid or fraudulent, in the event that that happens, okay, stick with me. And then you now go and get a proper divorce here in U.S. courts. So now this will be your second divorce from your prior spouse. This second divorce now will be done here in the U.S., okay? In the event that that's the case, many people don't realize that since you now have gotten a proper divorce from your spouse, your first spouse in a U.S. court, and that since this is now your second divorce from your first or former spouse, most people don't realize that at this point, then most states would require that you now remarry your current U.S. citizen spouse to make the marriage valid. Okay, let me run that through again. You submit an adjustment of status application. Okay, your spouse submits a green card application for you through marriage. Everything goes good except for the fact they said that your prior divorce in Nigeria was invalid. I say Nigeria because that's typically where I see this problem. Okay, so then you now consult a lawyer in America who says, okay, no problem, you just need to get a proper divorce here in the U.S. in a U.S. court from your first prior spouse. Okay, then you now go and get that first divorce, the proper divorce from your first spouse. You now go and get it from a U.S. court. Great. So now you're properly divorced from your first spouse. But that means since you're just now properly divorcing your first spouse, your current marriage to a U.S. citizen spouse is now in most states considered invalid. Most states will now require that for you to now be married to a U.S. citizen spouse, you need to remarry that person for the marriage to be valid. Because the first time you married them, you were still married to someone else. And U.S. law states you cannot be married to two people at the same time. The only exception to this is some very few states like Texas. Texas is one of the few states that states that if you're in a situation like that, you did not need to remarry your current U.S. citizen spouse. I really, really hope people are listening to me today, and please share this video because I'm about to explain this concept one more time. I'm going to explain one more time, so please share away on TikTok, share away on Facebook, share away on Instagram. Let's say you're in a situation where you were divorced from your Nigerian spouse in Nigeria. You came to the U.S. and married someone else afresh. You've married a U.S. citizen here or a green card holder here. Your green card holder or your U.S. citizen spouse petitioned for you here. Okay. And that application was denied or about to be denied because they stated to you that your prior divorce that you got in Nigeria was invalid or improper or fraudulent. You then corrected it properly by getting a divorce here in a U.S. court. So now what happens is you are now legally divorced from your first spouse. Now you're properly legally divorced from your first spouse. Okay, but that also now means that you never had the legal right to marry your first spouse because you are still married. So most states will state or will require you to remarry your current U.S. citizen spouse for you to be able to get anything through that marriage, for you to be able to get a green card through that marriage, or for you to be able to get a green card even through VAWA. Most states will require you needed to remarry your spouse here in the U.S., here in the United States. So this is what I wanted to make clear to everybody, because I still get consultations. Even today, I just had a consultation with someone who was like, "Oh, I wish I knew this. I wish I knew I needed to remarry my spouse. Like, Lord, now I'm stuck. Now Now I can't get a green card through marriage. I can't get a green card through vow, right? Because I was technically married to two people at the same time. So if you miss that, you're gonna have to rewind because I just can't. I don't have the strength to to explain this a fourth time. So when I finish this, just place replay, and you'll be able to rewind and hear what I said. Okay. But long story short, if immigration finds out that you're married to two people at the same time, typically you're required now. What you're going to have to do is now get a proper divorce here in the United States from your prior spouse, which will now invalidate your current marriage, which means then you're going to have to technically remarry a second time. You're going to have to remarry your U.S. citizen spouse now a second time to make it valid, except you're in a state like Texas that does not require that. How do you know if you're going to be required to remarry? Go to avo.com. Find you a lawyer, a good, experienced family lawyer that practices divorces, and ask them, do I have to remarry my spouse because I was technically legally still married to my other spouse when I married my U.S. citizen or green card holder spouse? That's how you know. You know by consulting a lawyer. That's how you know. You know by taking the proper steps. You know that. Of course, most people will never have this issue if they did their due diligence. I've talked about it many times and I'm still going to say, do your due diligence. Like, why would you take your divorce just from a prior spouse? They no longer have an interest to do you right. Always be involved in every divorce you're in. Like, if you, most times if you're involved in the divorce, you would know what kind of divorce certificate you're getting, or at least you'd have more of an assurance that I did get a proper divorce certificate. Be involved in your divorces, y'all. I mean, it's so I don't want to say it, but it's not something that you even have to say, but be involved in your divorce, okay? And you get your divorce lawyer. You take the proper steps to make sure you get a proper divorce, especially if it's happening outside the country. That's my 2 cents on that, and I'm gonna start taking questions now. So I hope you guys got that. I hope you guys understood that. And before I start taking questions, I want to remind you guys that we do green card applications through marriage, adjustment of status through marriage. So that's if you and your spouse are in a good relationship and your spouse is petitioning for you. We also do adjustment of status through VAWA, which is the opposite. That's if you and your spouse are in a toxic, chaotic marriage. And then we also do adjustment of status adjustment of status through asylum and also asylum applications. So asylum is whenever you fled your home country due to unrest or due to something you cannot easily change about yourself, such as your race, your nationality, your religion, your political opinion, or any other group that doesn't fall into this first four, like your sexual orientation, like female genital mutilation, like gang violence, and like what is it, like forced marriage, like rape, things like those, like family like family issues that are dangerous to your life, etc. There's so many much more examples I can give. All right, but that's asylum. We also do that very, very well. All right, now I'm gonna start taking questions right about now. If you'd like to take a question, I'm taking questions now on Instagram. Okay, I'm taking questions on Instagram. If you'd like to jump in and ask, if you want me to answer a question, you need to jump over to our Instagram, which is just Vowel Queen, and then request to come live, and I'll answer questions. I plan to take. This is 3:56 right now. I plan to take questions just for about the next 5 to 10 minutes. So about 4 o'clock, 4 or 5, I'll be leaving here. All right, so I'm taking questions now live on Instagram. Hello? Okay. All right. I'm bringing people in now. When's the best time to file for divorce? Ideally, ideally in the very beginning, madam, before you even file for VAWA. Okay. But you can the answer to my question, I don't have time to explain. Just when I jump off this live, just rewind. Madam, this is my answer to Veronica, and you'll be able to know when's the best time to file. I mean, how to resolve, how to get a proper divorce and at what time. Okay. Okay, I'm trying to bring people in. Hello.
Hi.
How are you doing? Good.
So I have a question. So I did the I-130, I-485, and I-130 got approved, and then I-485 I got interviewed like a month ago, and I'm waiting, and we don't. They've not like I've not heard anything from them. Do I keep waiting, or just because it's been just about a month? Or do you want me to contact you so we can see what we can do so they can get it done?
Even if I could do anything, I probably am so busy to take a case just to follow up on your interview, to be honest. So what I'd say is that I think you should wait a bit longer. A month is not delayed. Sometimes there's people who waited way longer than that. So just wait. I think you'll hear something soon. And then if it starts to get a couple months or close to a year, then I think it's time to contact immigration directly.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right. Yeah. You can call. This is Captain Alasuri. You cannot call directly. What you need to do is just request to come live. I see someone said they tried to call, and I'm like, you can't call. What you have to do is request to come live, and then I'll add you in to ask your question. Okay. From Ghana. We married in Ghana. Nice. Yeah, we're covering Ghana this week in our series. We're covering Ghana. Hello? Hello?
Hi. I wanted to know how long after your VAWA approval do you get your green card?
I think it's a question I'm asked often, and honestly, I don't know. It could be a month later, it could be 6 months later, it could be a year later. It depends on the processing times for your city. And then also, it just really sometimes depends on when immigration gets to you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Boo. All right. You can't join the live directly. You have to request to come live, Harry. There should be a request to come live button that appears when you're on Instagram, when you're on the live. And once you request, then I'll add you. But you got to request for me to be able to add you. That's how it works. I'm bringing some more people here for their questions. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I have a question related to the I-485. So I have an interview next week. So I want to know what kind of question they ask. My VAWA is approved.
Okay, so that's more like a conversation question. But in summary, it's usually just trying to figure out what kind of character you have. And then they're going to ask you questions from your I-485. Okay? If you need more help, please call me. Schedule a consultation, okay? And your phone is really loud, so I'm going to take you out. Okay?
No.
All right. Sorry I had to do that. Sorry. Your voice, your phone was so loud I could no longer do it. But you can replay and hear my answer, hopefully. All right. I'll take one more question, guys, and then I've got to go. Hello?
Hello, how are you?
Good, and you?
Okay, so my question is, I'm originally from the Bahamas, right? And I know, like, you was mentioning something about divorce. And in the Bahamas, they was having an issue where people were coming up, turning up to be married, but they weren't actually the ones, like their names were shown in the registry. In the Bahamas, as they were married, but they didn't actually get married. So I'm saying, like, if that ever happens in a case like that, what would you do?
You mean they're divorced? So how? Okay, what do you mean?
Okay, so
So
they had like this
so
scam going on where
mhm.
somebody was working along with like some nationals, like Haitian nationals, for them to get their paperwork in the Bahamas. They was using like Bahamian persons' names, and so like I know a few times when some people went to go get married for real, they were saying it was showing up that they were already married, but they had no knowledge of it. So I'm saying, like, if somebody
So the
was to
Haitian
apply, like, if I'm over
was the
here,
Haitian was scamming people. Now that was back in Bahamas. That's the part I'm not getting.
yeah, it was back in the Bahamas. So I'm saying, like, if it was to happen, like, let's say my name was in that mix, and I don't know.
Sorry, a call came in. What'd you say?
Well, and it happens to show that I'm married, but I have no knowledge of it. What would I do in a case like that?
I think you need to schedule a consultation because there's some details I'm not getting quite clearly.
Okay.
But in some situations, now, yeah, because I'm not sure I'm understanding it very well. But in some situations, let's say, someone put on a tourist visa that they're married, but they're not really married. Like you, let's say you did that on your own, your application for tourist visa, right? DS-260 or DS-160, and then you came to the US, and then now you got married for real. In that situation, I'm not sure if I'm understanding properly, but if that was the situation, what you would do is you would just get, most countries have a department or a ministry that handles marriages. You will just do a search, get them to do a search on your name and provide a statement saying they've searched for your name on their records of married people and you're not married. Okay. There's that. And then there's also a 601 fraud waiver possibly that you may need. But this is a consultation question. And honestly, it's like we're doing a hypo. And so maybe just call me and we'll talk. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. You know these on Sunday, right?
Okay, guys, I've got to go. Sorry. I have a call. I have an appointment I've got to make it to. Thank you, guys. Please share. I described a lot of things and a lot of steps and a lot of problems people are having on either a green card application through marriage or green card application through VAWA, simply because they discover they're still married to their previous spouse. They try to fix it here in the U.S. court, and then now it's almost too late, or an extra step was needed for them to maybe possibly now remarry their U.S. citizen spouse here in the U.S. and they didn't know. And because of that, now you're stuck. You kind of really have closed off your options, most of your options for a while. Okay, so please share this. This is great information today. Share. And I'll see you maybe possibly next week, guys. Love you guys. Bye. Bye. Share, y'all. Thank you, Facebook and YouTube.